Hey everybody, how's it going? Let's talk, what do you do when your animal is stressed out, scared of noises, doesn't like it when you leave, really anything that might upset them, new situations, new people, any of those kinds of things. So you might find that, using over-the-counter stuff or things from the vets come with a lot of side effects. That's what we found. Because Ben has some pretty severe issues. He's my golden retriever. I was searching for more natural options, and so I'm going to share with you the oils that I like and that I use. First, lavender. This is a really good one. I know it's backwards, of course, but this is a really good one that's kind of a basic go-to starter that comes in your kit. One of our favorites that I'll tell you about tonight, frankincense. This is a very, very, very good one. Peace and calming. Valor. Stress away. So 3 of these 6 come in your kit. So you would have, and most of you would have them. And tea away. Now this is part of the Animal Sense collection. Hoping that you can see those. I feel like it's blurry. It is on my screen. But the Animal Sense tea away, those are the 6 most common oils that I hear people using, and those are the ones that we've used. So let me share with you how to use them. First and most important thing that you want to do is introduce them in a positive environment. So if you're trying to soothe your dog's nerves or your animal, your cat, whatever it might be, when you leave because they have separation issues, use the oils in a positive environment so they associate it with positive and good things. So diffuse it when you're home with them, just chilling with them and petting them. Or while you, like overnight while you're sleeping, because they're relaxation oils, so they're going to be good for that. So also think of situations that are things that the animals love. Like if your dog loves going on a walk or a car ride or playing ball, use the oils in those situations. How can you use them? Diffuse them in your car if you have a car diffuser. Put a drop on a seat or maybe the dog's pillow or underneath their pillow even to start with, because their nose is sensitive enough that they're going to smell it when you go on a car ride. And when you go walking, put it on their leash or on your shoes. So those are kind of some of the ways that you can start getting them exposed to the oils in a good positive environment. They're with you, something they love, that kind of thing. A little bit goes a long way, so you can definitely dilute the oils. Obviously, in your diffuser, they're being mixed with water. But if you're applying them topically, you can dilute them. Now, if you have a large dog or a horse that we're talking about, then you don't necessarily need to. But I've been diffusing or diluting more and more even with my dogs, just because they don't need it to be that strong. It doesn't hurt my dogs. They're 60, 65, and 68 pounds. And that, but they don't necessarily need it to be, strong or as pure. Internal. So my favorite one to use internal is frankincense. This is very calming. It has a ton of other health benefits and immune benefits, so that's a great one to use internally. I don't think that I've ever used anything else internally, but lavender comes in a vitality, so you could use that internally if you wanted to as well. But I find that just like when I apply it topically, I will put a drop on my hands and then I will pet my dog. Sometimes, like mostly it's like from the back of the head down to the tip of the tail, but sometimes I'll just rub it all over. We'll just be playing and I'll rub them, that kind of thing. Rub their belly if they like it. Really get it on them anywhere. I don't necessarily put it on the pads of their feet because that is a sensitive area, and I don't put it right by their nose because again, their noses, they're so sensitive to smell. They don't need it there. Like I said, start small, start in your positive environments. Some of the things that I do, so we just moved. Last time we moved 2 years ago, Ben did not do well. It was horrible. Let me be honest. We had to have handymans come and fix our walls, and door frames and carpet and lots of things. It was really rough. He broke out of his kennel, damaged his kennel, the wall himself. It was a disaster. So I discovered that frankincense worked really good for him. And at that point, I wasn't diffusing oils for them when we would leave. But since we've moved here, I was very proactive. I did a lot of things, pretty much mostly with oils. in preparing Ben to move back here. So we lived in this house before and we were moving back here, and he's done very well. All of the walls are in normal condition. One of the things that a lot of times when I leave, he'll try to sneak out the door with me, and he hasn't done that once here, not at all. And so like he's comfortable. He'll follow me downstairs to the door, but then he just is chill and he's like, "See you later, Mom." And he also will destroy a blanket if there's a blanket around. And my niece got me a blanket for Christmas. She made me one. But first of all, it smells like her, so he loves her. And so I think that he liked that. But every once in a while, I just put a drop of frankincense. Or I think I've done peace and calming. But I'll just put a drop on it, and that makes a huge difference. He just totally lays and chills on that blanket. Normally, that wouldn't be the case. He would shred the blanket. Every once in a while, I'll put a drop on his bed or the carpet or a rug or something like that. So I change it up from day to day. I don't do the exact same thing. The blend that we use, or that I use when I'm gone, is lavender, frankincense, and peace and calming. So these three. This is also what I diffuse every night in my bedroom. So he's very used to it. Ben actually sleeps next to me. And so he's obviously getting exposed to it then. So it's a really good thing for him that he's exposed in a really positive environment every day, and then it's what I diffuse when I'm gone. I use frankincense most commonly. If you've heard my story, he's very scared of fireworks and loud booms. And so, was it Christmas a year ago or Christmas 2 years ago? I can't remember. I was sitting next to him. I was diffusing frankincense, not one that I would diffuse very often. And he was laying next to me sleeping, and I noticed that I heard fireworks and he didn't wake up. And I was like, "What's going on?" And then when he did wake up, he didn't freak out. So I was like, "Wow." And I was like, "What's going on here?" And I realized, oh, I've got frankincense in the diffuser. That's a calming oil. And so I started using it a lot for him, and it really worked. So that's a good one. There's not one magical recipe. Try them all. Again, start small, start with just one oil, but know that if lavender doesn't work for your dog because they have a severe case of whatever going on, there's many other options. The other day, we live across the road from a shooting range. The other day, we walked outside to go potty right before bed, and I take them out on a leash because we live by a very busy road, and I have to kind of walk them around. Ben doesn't just go right outside and go to the bathroom. He needs to walk around and that. So we walk outside. There's 3 very loud booms from a gun or something of some sort across the street, and he freezes. He's like, "I am not moving." I'm like, "You have to go pee." So we came back inside. And I was like, what am I going to do? I put Valor on my wrist, rubbed them together, took a few breaths, made sure I was completely calm and relaxed. And then I put some Valor on my hands, and he laid down so I could rub it on him. He loves oils. He literally lays down and rolls over, and he's like, "Mom, here's my belly. Rub it on me." So I did that. We go outside, and he walked. He was a little bit nervous when we would hear the loud booms again, but he didn't totally freeze. So it was improvement. I probably should have done frankincense as well, or put it on his leash or something, but I didn't have it handy, and we got through it. So just know that there's lots of things that you can play with and try. If your dog doesn't like an oil, so I'll talk about this when I do raindrop technique for animals, and that with talking about my experiences with Grizzly. But if a dog doesn't like the smell of an oil, they'll probably walk away or stay away from it. So you don't ever want to enclose them in a room when you're using an oil for the first time. So you need to know that they like it before you do that. But back down. Make sure that you've introduced it in a positive environment. Make sure that you've introduced it diluted or very mild or from a distance or that kind of thing. So that would be my tip and recommendation on that. That if they don't like it, and there may be some oils that they don't like. For humans, we say, if you don't like an oil or the smell of it, then you probably need that oil, and you'll usually over time end up liking it a lot. But I don't know if that's the same with animals. I haven't been able to find anything that says yes or no or proves that. So I always say just chill back, scale back and make sure that you're really calm and what's the word I'm looking for? Like starting small, I guess, using a very small amount from a distance type of thing. So that's all I have. If you have questions, like I said, I can't see the comments, so that's why I'm not responding to them if you guys are asking me questions, but I will definitely go back and check them out. I have another meeting in about 20 minutes, but I'm going to go ahead and end the video now, and I'll check your comments. And thanks for joining me tonight. And like I said, if you have any questions, messages about this topic, send them here. Any other questions or topics you want me to cover on future Mondays for #OilyAnimals, you can send me a message on that as well. And to see any of the other videos and topics that I've covered, just search here in the Hangout under #OilyAnimals, and you'll be able to find those. Thanks, guys. Talk to you later. Bye.